join me today for this unboxing of Marvel Champions the card game Hero Pack Falcon. Just in case you're new to this, what this is going to be a 60 card deck ready to go straight out of the box. And it lets you know here, you're going to have it all pre-built. It's going to have the Nemesis Viper. And there'll be new cards in here and stuff. And if it's anything like the ones we've been seeing from this whole campaign set, we should see a Thunderbolt enemy set in here also, which was pretty cool. If you're new to this, the nice thing about this is basically if this is one of your favorite characters, you just want to jump in, you can just buy this, go out of your way and find someone else who has the game, and you can have a deck that plays this. And just to check that, we're even going to play this solo unchanged against the first villain from this set, which is Black Widow, the Yelena Belova, the White Widow basically. But we will play this against that. All right, let's go ahead without much ado, just get right into this. Just to let you know, there is a piece of tape here that I already pre-cut. That'll let you know if this package has been tampered with. And then also, when you open this up, you should see a sealed pack of cards, like such. And then you want to look up under this flap, where you're going to see like a rule book, or a little rule sheet, I should really say. But you want to make sure you grab that and don't accidentally throw it away. All right. I'll zoom in, take a look at the cards the way we normally do it, but I happen to remember this time I want to make a guess of what this is. I think it's going to be protection because there's a lot of aerial protection cards, and that's just what I can see Falcon. I don't really see him being aggression, especially with Winter Soldier being aggression, which we just saw. And we haven't, I want to say protection. Only other thing I can see is leadership, but that'd be more Cap Falcon, but guess we'll see. So when you open this up, first off, we got Falcon. It's just going to be a poster, which is going to be the same thing that's there if you want it. And then on the other side, actually, I was wrong. The other side, you're going to see some rules that you may need, just in case you don't have those expansions. And then we see here, it is going to be a leadership deck. Maybe they're doing it so you could say like your Cap Falcon. All right, now we're zoomed in. We're going to go through these cards. We're just going to do it the same way I always do this, where we're going to look at the cards and talk about them as fast and quickly as I can, but not gloss over them too much. We'll just go over every card. And this is so that I can look at this, and then when we do the playthrough, I always do kind of a review at the end where I go back through the deck and reevaluate the cards and see if I felt the same way or if they changed my mind after the playthrough or whatnot. Little heads up here. Yeah, this was a tough one for me. Not really too tough, I guess, because I've always been a Falcon fan. I like original Falcon. I loved reading about him and stuff. And I like Winter Soldier. I like Winter Soldier more because a lot of that and both of these are geared around it, but Captain America is one of my favorites. Mainly the Steve Rogers, of course, Captain America. And then I just like Winter Soldier. I like Falcon. I was just really disappointed. I'm not real big on Cap Falcon. I like Falcon. I don't know. There's something about it didn't work out for me, or this wasn't my cup of tea. But either way, it's neither here nor there. Let's get right into it. I did say protection, but it turns out it is going to be a leadership deck, which, hey, I love playing leadership decks. That's my favorite deck, so let's see where this goes. So right off the bat here, we start off in Ultra Ego form. It's Sam Wilson, and he's got 3 recovery. Another shield. So, looks like, well, it makes sense. We're in the shield campaign. All these are probably going to be shield characters. But Birds of a Feather, as an action, discard 1 card from your hand, search your deck and discard pile for a bird card, and add it to your hand. Oh, that's true. This isn't going to be like the MCU. I didn't think about that. One of the things I was a little disappointed in with the movies was, his little extra sidekick and what they did with it. But, Red Wing. I was about to say, Red Wing. All right. We see here is they've got a hand size of 6 and hit points 10. So we're right on the average on everything. And then we'll go ahead and flip this over. And yeah, his hand size goes to 5, so that's typical alter ego to hero hand size. Hit points 10, so it's not, that's average because typically 9's below and 11 or above 10's more. But all right, so we know we're gonna be able to get Red Wing. Wonder if we're gonna have some others. I did not like that in the movies. I get it. It makes more sense than just having a bird, but I want to see Red Wing. But here we go. We got Falcon here. 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. Pretty good. Our average. Aerial Avenger. So here's the Avenger keyword. During the player phase, play with the top card of the encounter deck face up. That's pretty nice. And an interesting way, and I get it. It makes sense when you think about Falcon. I like it. Eagle-eyed, as a response, after you play an aerial card, discard the top card of the encounter deck. That's pretty cool, actually. Man, that's tough. I really liked Winter Soldier, but I'm already getting ideas of things I want to do with Falcon here. I mean, I built an Archangel deck thinking I like where it goes there, but this might be my new aerial build and see where it goes. Let's see what this leadership deck's about. Maybe this is going to be one of those ones I won't change, and it'll be cool all the way through. Put this over here so we can see the stats and have them for comparison still. All right, we're going to go through the 15 cards that you have to have in your deck for Falcon, no matter what aspect you're playing. So here we go. Right off the bat, his ally, Red Wing, 2 cost, 2 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Aerial Avenger Bird, so we can go search for it or tutor for it. Hero action, exhaust Red Wing, return him to your hand, and discard the top card of the encounter deck. Choose to either deal X damage to an enemy or remove X threat from a scheme. X is the number of icons in the discarded card's boost area. Yeah. All right, so this is going to be my encounter manipulation deck. I'm already liking this. This is definitely, especially if this leadership deck goes into that, this is definitely more my play style. I know Silk was doing something like that, but this is more my play style. I'm liking this already. And then plus I like Falcon, so yeah, I'm already pretty happy about this. All right, we got Birds of Prey here. 2 cost event, aerial attack. So it's going to be able to let you trigger that aerial ability if you want. Hero action attack. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. You may discard the top card of the encounter deck to deal 1 additional damage to that enemy for each icon in the discarded card's boost area. So we're going to start seeing, I'm assuming all of these 15 cards are going to have something to do with that. So I'm also getting a Scarlet Witch vibe. But man, definitely if you're Nemesis, because normally the Nemesis have like 3 and 4 icons on there. So if you end up hitting Shadows of the Past and getting that shuffled in, of course you probably shouldn't hit Shadows of the Past unless you just mistime one of these. But all right, Bird's Eye View, 2 cost event, aerial thwart. So it's probably gonna be the same thing. Just Hero action thwart, remove 3 threat from a scheme. You may discard the top card of the encounter deck to remove 1 additional threat from that scheme for each icon in the discarded card's boost area. So that's where you just got to make that decision. Do you discard it? Because it's not a forced response and risk that you may now hit Shadows of the Past. Well, I guess you wouldn't care. Well, yeah, I don't know. All right. Up, and away. 0 cost event. Aerial defense. Hero response defense. After an attacking enemy is given a face down boost card, look at that card and the top card of the encounter deck. You may swap those cards. Draw 1 card for each printed icon in the boost card's boost area. Yeah, I'm starting to get more of the Scarlet Witch vibe here. I mean, yeah, you get to do it, but the way, yeah, you get to manipulate it, but really it's going to have a lot of little random 0 to 4s or 0 to 3. 4 is an extreme, but I guess 0 is an extreme too. All right, we got Falcon's Flock here. 2 cost support, aerial bird, so you can go search for this. Uses 5 bird counters. As a resource, remove 1 bird counter from here to generate a energy resource for an aerial card. which is going to be most of his other cards. So not as strong as the other one, a lot of the other characters where they get to do it multiple times, whereas this is only going to be 5 times. But I mean, what I'd say an average game's probably you're going to get at least, you're probably, average game, unless you get this very early, you're probably not going to use all 5 counters off it anyways. So, alright, Soup Kitchen, 1 cost support, alter ego action, location, exhaust Sam Wilson and Soup Kitchen to heal damage from Sam Wilson equal to his recovery, which was 3, and reduce the cost of the next ally or support played this phase by 2. Well, because I was thinking, because yeah, 2, but yeah, get this first or something. Or it's a leadership deck, so you're going to need to make allies a little bit cheaper, unless they got some cheap ones in here. So this is going to help you do that. Aerial Evacuation, 1 cost upgrade, Aerial Preparation, Hero Interrupt. When another friendly character would be dealt any amount of damage, discard Aerial Evacuation. Prevent all of that damage and change to alter ego form. If that character is a hero, they also change to alter ego form. Oh, it does say another. Okay. I was like, wait. So this is really good for the leadership deck if you're playing solo. If you're not playing solo, this could really help another character out a lot. Because they can even just take an attack for you, and then you can just go and swing in and save the day. So, yep, I like it. Aerial Recon, 1 cost upgrade, Aerial Tactic, Hero Action, exhaust Aerial Recon and deal a player 1 face down encounter card. Place 1 Recon encounter here, or counter here. As an interrupt, when a player would be dealt an encounter card, remove 1 Recon counter from here instead. So you're basically doing an extra encounter card now to basically stop one later. Interesting. I actually think that's pretty good, because what it's going to do is it allows you to basically, when you're in the right situation where you think you can, like, hey man, everything's going right, I can do an extra encounter, I can handle an extra encounter right now. So you can go ahead and do it for those times where it's like, oh, as long as we don't have this happen, or man, if another scheme happens, we just lose or something. So I like this. This is pretty good, actually. Battlefield Awareness, 2 cost upgrade, Aerial Skill, Hero Interrupt. When Falcon uses a basic power, exhaust Battlefield Awareness and discard the top card of the encounter deck. Falcon gets +1 to that power for this use for each icon in the discarded card's boost area. Once again, yep. I mean, yeah, these are all good. Of course, you got to get all these upgrades out, but yeah, I'm liking it. Draw Their Fire, 1 cost per player upgrade. We haven't seen any of those in the other ones, right? Just making sure I didn't accidentally just miss that in the others. Nope. 1 cost per player upgrade. Aerial Preparation, Hero Response. After villain phase begins, discard Draw Their Fire. Falcon does not exhaust to defend until the end of the phase. That could be pretty good. I mean, just that you do multiple defenses, especially if you triggered this one we just talked about, Battlefield Awareness, so your defense is up. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going over it again to make sure I'm thinking that right. Yeah. I mean, being able to defend, even if it's just stopping 2 damage on each attack and you don't have to exhaust, so you're going to be able to do a recovery on the next turn or do an attack. No, this is good. Talon Line, 2 cost upgrade. It's an item. Hero Response. After you resolve Falcon's Eagle Eye ability, which is the response when you play an aerial card. So after you trigger that, discard Talon Line. For each icon in the discarded card's boost area, choose 1. Ready a character you control or stun an enemy. I mean, at first it sounds like, I mean, unless you hit the 0, but remember, you get to see what's the top card anyways. But, especially for a leadership deck, because you can ready a bunch of allies or stun down Just depending on, I mean, you'll get to know because you get to see that top card. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. 2 cost upgrade, Vibranium Microweave, Tech Wakanda. Falcon gets +1 defense. All right, well, that goes into that other card we were looking at. And then there's a Hero Interrupt. When Falcon would take any amount of damage, exhaust Vibranium Microweave. Prevent 1 of that damage and deal 1 damage to an enemy. Yep, nope, that's cool. All right, so that's all 50 of his cards. So now we're going to see, well, I was about to say, we're going to see the leadership cards, and we're probably going to see some new leadership allies. This top one is not a new one. I do know I play with this one, I think, in my Ant-Man deck. We'll see if it reads different, but I don't think so. Adam Warlock here, 3 cost, 3 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 attack. As a response, after Adam Warlock attacks or thwarts, discard 1 card at random from your hand. If that card's printed resource has, if it's a physical, you remove 3 threat from a scheme. If it's a reflex, heal 3 damage from an identity or energy. Sorry, I do play a lot of legendary. That's energy resource. Mental, deal 3 damage to an enemy. Or if it's wild, choose any one of the above. Or one of the above. Yeah, I mean, actually, now I think I put it in a deck where I could hit multiples on some of the cards, but it's cool. I like this. It's in my deck. Yeah, it's cool. A little disappointed. I'd like to see new cards, but it's a good card. Arrow, 3 cost, 3 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Aerial Agent of Atlas. Hero action, exhaust arrow. Choose a player. Until the end of the phase, each aerial character that player controls gets +1 attack. I didn't think about it. Yeah, we're going to see a bunch of areas, and that even ties in more of the stuff. These are all going to be flying characters. So, yeah, you're going to give them all plus attacks. So, especially in a leadership deck. Yep, might just be keeping this one together. This is another reprint, I'm pretty sure. Cloud9, 3 cost, 3 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Aerial Champion, hero action, exhaust Cloud9. Choose a player. Until the end of the phase, each aerial character that player controls gets +1 thwart. So same thing we were just talking about here, except now you're going to be able to thwart for a lot. So, Hugin and Munnin, 2 cost, ally, 2 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Aerial Asgard Bird. As a response, after, I guess it could be Hugin and Munin. I'm sure I'm butchering that. Just a dumb Aggie here. But interplay, search the top 10 cards of the encounter deck for a minion and put it into play engaged with you. Ready 1 character you control for each icon in that minion's boost area. Now I'm just thinking about the card where you were going to be able to ready a bunch of guys. So you attack or thwart doing one of these things, and then ready them all. Do it all again. Now granted, you'll be taking the consequence damage, but then you do this and ready characters again. And most likely, since it's characters, you're going to be readying your main, so you won't have to worry about consequence damage. Yeah, this can lead to some silliness. I mean, I know they made the character. Yeah, I knew they made the identity, and I guess now we're getting to see the ally here. 5 costs, so once again, making that stuff. I guess I should have been looking at that. Since you can make those 2 cheaper, man, you can get some of these 3s and 2s out real, well, this one free, and then the other one's real cheap. This one you're going to have to make cheaper. Let's see what she does here, though. 5 cost, 3 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 attack. As a response, after you play Spectrum, tuck 1 card used to pay for her under her. If that card's printed resource has mental, Spectrum gets +2 thwart. Physical, Spectrum gets +2 attack. Energy, Spectrum gets +2 hit points. Wild, all of the above. I mean, tucking any one card under there. And I'm just thinking of also, if you play with the energy, strength, you know, the basics there too, and you tuck that card under here. Oh, it's not per on there. Okay, never mind. So it'll still just be limited to one. But man, if you can find some, but I think it's usually the identity cards that have multiple icons on there, as far as like multiple different icons. And really it's just certain characters like Domino and stuff. But yeah, still, this is still good because you can get that, you put it on attack, then you're looking at 9 damage. And that's if you're not doing some type of healing or something like that. Yeah, no, this is good. Even with her 5, that's really good. There's a reason she needs to be a little expensive. Otherwise, she'd be too good if she was any cheaper. All right, we got strength and diversity here. 2 costs per player as an event. It's an alliance, so that means you're if there's other players, they can help you pay for it. Hero action. For each different trait on friendly characters in play, choose. Remove 1 threat from a scheme. Deal 1 damage to an enemy. So yeah, Ariel would be shared here, but like especially this one, I mean, Ariel, Asgard Bird, that's adding you 2 more champions. So that's the reason they threw in these other ones like Agent of Atlas. They threw in all these other ones with Ariel also. So I mean, if you're doing something similar, let's say the other way around where it's Avengers and you're getting to use all the other keywords, this can get pretty beastly. So, I mean, as long as you're at least getting 3 out of, well, I'd say 4. As long as you're getting 4, I mean, you got Ariel Avenger here already, so that ain't going to help you there. But yeah, as long as you're getting 4 out of there, 2 to 4 to 5-ish, I would think is what you want. I mean, 1 to 3 is pretty good. So, I mean, even 2 to 3, I guess, isn't bad. But well, actually, even just 2 to 3, just because you can choose the scheme or attack or damage. So, and it's damage, so it's not an attack actually, as I say that. And the same, it's removing threat, and it's not a thwart. So, gets around the stun and the confuse. So, I mean, that's actually way better. Yeah, anything I was even kind of poo-pooing at. Now, paying that extra just to be able to get around, and it's not get around the stuns and confuses, and you can just use it. Yeah, no, this is good. Because you're, like I said, you're going to get at least 2 no matter what. So, and that's if you have nobody out. And then if you're playing with multiple other players, now granted it's going to be way more expensive then, but if they're not even close to sharing the same traits with you, yeah. Alright, Flight Squadron. 2 cost support. Team. Play only if your identity has the aerial trait. Max 1 team card per player. If each of your allies has the aerial trait, increase your ally limit by 1, and this card gains response after you play an aerial card. Exhaust this card. Ready an ally you control. I mean, so far I'm keeping this deck together. The only thing I can think of that I may not play with, I may remove 1 of these. I mean, it's good. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'd even remove 1 of those. I might remove some of these. I don't know if I need 3 of them in there. But definitely good for the deck. Resource Reserve. 1 cost support. Location. Max 1 per player. Any player may spend the resource card tucked here as if it were in their hand. As an action, exhaust Resource Reserve, tuck 1 resource card from your hand under here to a maximum of 1. And that helps you gear up towards the one, either helps you pay for allies. So I like this. If there's 3 of these, this is definitely not one I would keep all in this deck. I'd probably try to spread these out amongst my, well, let's see, there's 3. There are. So I would probably end up playing with only 1 of these and spread these out amongst my, as much as I could, to my leadership deck, especially the ones with expensive costs, because this either lets me float resources to help pay for my allies later, or even just float resources that to where other people can use them. Like, no, I like this a lot. would want to spread it out because I want I want to play with more of those. And if I would replace cards in these, it'd be to try to find more either aerial allies or see what other aerial cards we got in the leadership to see if I can't change out something just to keep that aerial thing going. The Triskelion, yeah, this should be in here. 1 cost support, this is a reprint of course. Location, shield, increase your ally limit by 1. Yeah. Captain America, and this is, yep, going into the Cap Falcon, hence the picture. 0 cost upgrade, play only if you are the Bucky Barnes or Sam Wilson player. Oh, that's pretty cool because this could let you make Winter Soldier into Cap. Hero action, exhaust Captain America and spend a strength resource. Find Captain America's shield and add it to your hand. If it leaves play this way, deal 4 damage to an enemy. So I'm assuming Captain America's shield is going to be in here because the only other Captain America's shield I know of is in Captain America's deck, which can only be in Captain America's deck. So I'm assuming we're going to see at the end of this Captain America's shield. We'll see. But I assume that's the only way that would work. Sorry about that. I just realized, yeah, my recorder for sound was not working. So, sorry that sound's going to be all screwed up there for the first part. Hopefully it gets all fixed here. We got Wingman here, 0 cost upgrade. Title, attached to an aerial ally, max 1 per ally. As an interrupt, when another aerial ally would take any amount of consequential damage, exhaust attached ally and prevent 1 of that damage. So this can keep your guys up longer. Especially if you got that ally down to that 1, you're just ready to let them have a block, but you don't really need to. You can let someone keep going. They're just basically constantly going, but this one just gets tapped if you have the extra space and don't want to just let go of that ally quite yet. All right, we got the typical energy, genius, strength. Then we got another resource card here, okay, the power of flight. Oh, I think this one might have been in Rogue's deck, actually. The double the number of resources on his card generates while paying for an aerial card, which is perfect for this deck. Yep, this is cool. Keep these in here for sure. All right, we get to his obligation, Harlem's Protector. Yeah, if Captain America's Shield's going to be here, it's probably going to be after the stop card. But I'm pretty sure it has to do that because otherwise they would have mentioned the Captain America's identity card. So, anyways, we got his obligation here, Harlem's Protector. Give to the Sam Wilson player. Uses 3 emergency counters, victory 0. Alter ego action, spend 1 resource of any type, remove 1 emergency counter from here. Remove, so I mean, it's going to cost you 3 resources, but it is a victory, so it'll go to your victory pile, so it will go away. But until then, you are going to have to do an extra encounter, which, or someone, the first place is going to be dealt an extra encounter, but which you have that 1 card that says if you've been building it up, you already done the encounters ahead of time, so you can just, if you don't want to pay the 3 resources right now, maybe skip that extra encounter going on right there. But, yep, that's cool. All right, and then we get to the Nemesis. We got Viper here. Minion, of course. 5 hit points. 2 scheme with something special. 2 attack with something special. Has Quick Strike. Serpent Society. As a force response, after Viper activates, discard the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. So it's going to mess up what you're doing here. Also going to cycle through the deck quicker, so kind of want to get him taken care of a little quicker, but yeah, it can be handled. Serpent Solutions, Side Scheme, Forced Response. After a Serpent Society minion is discarded from the top of the encounter deck, deal that minion to the first player as a face-down encounter card. So that's where that gets a little dangerous if this is out, which it would be if you hit Shadows of the Past. Also has 6 threat on it. Because I'm assuming we're going to see some other Serpent Society guys here. We have Serpent Soldier here. 1 scheme, 2 attack, 3 hit points, and he's got Quick Strike. Of course, he's Serpent Society. We also have a boost. Give the activating enemy an additional boost card.
And then we have Advertisement, Treachery, Surge. When revealed, shuffle each Serpent Society minion from the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck so they can hopefully get hit again, which is going... And see, this is really bad if this thing's out because of his ability, because it says if they're discarded from the top of the encounter deck, then they have to come out, which means your ability of... You're not going to want to play your aerial cards because, I mean, you just would choose not to discard them because it's not a forced response, so... Yep, and we already see it here. So this is a stop card. Let you know this is the end of the deck. The rest of the cards are not part of the pre-built deck, and that everything in there is new. They can be added in. And then it also lets you know that Captain America's shield upgrade after this divider can be put into play by the Captain America upgrade, and so should be set aside when using Falcon's pre-built deck. The only thing I'm a little sad about on that is... This can't be put into the Winter Soldier deck as is, just because it's a leadership card. So unless I switch it to Bucky doing this, but this deck I don't think would do as well with Bucky. I think this is a really good deck for Falcon. I'm actually looking forward. I don't know which of these I'm looking forward to playing now because I do like the play style of this one. And I really want to play Winter Soldier. We're going to see which one I like more, but of course, knowing that I like Captain America, I like both of these, makes a lot of sense. All right, anyways, let's get on with this. So right off the bat here, also on the other side, lets you know this is all the cards in the deck. That way, if you want to re-put this deck back together, you can. And then, just like it said, we get to see Captain America's shield here. 1 cost upgrade. It's linked to the Captain America upgrade. It is restricted. Your hero gets +1 defense and gains Retaliate 1. So, yep, you could turn him into Cap Falcon. Oh, we get to see Winter Soldier here, which wouldn't be able to go into the other deck. But, let's see, an Aggression Ally. 3 cost, 3 hit points, 1 thwart, 2 attack. And, I mean, the responsibility is exactly like we read off of Winter Soldier here. After Winter Soldier attacks and defeats an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So, we got Misty Knight here. Nice. 4 cost ally with 3 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Thwart with something special. Hero for hire. Does that mean we're going to... I'm seeing heroes for hire here. Does that mean we're finally going to see Luke Cage and Iron Fist? But I mean, we've already seen them, but I mean, are we going to see them as characters maybe? Well, I guess we don't have Misty Knight either though, but that'd be cool. All right, as an interrupt with the thwart, when Misty Knight thwarts, look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck and discard 1 of those cards. Misty Knight gets +1 thwart for this thwart for each icon in the discarded cards boost area. So basically, kind of works exactly what we got there. Ops room, I'm assuming just because what we saw in Winter Soldier, and I know there's a Justice card that does something similar. So I'm assuming this is going to be protection. I mean, well, it is protection, but I mean, basically stopping damage. Well, let's read through it. 2 cost support shield uses 3 alert counters. As an interrupt, when a friendly character would take any amount of damage while defending, remove 1 alert counter from here to prevent 1 of that damage and remove 1 threat from a scheme. So it's cool to see this, but yep, that's exactly what the others do, and I think those are good cards too, so I think this is a good one too. All right, so that's it on the new cards. So now we're going to see the new Thunderbolt that you can add into that one scheme or just use as a secondary side encounter. Or I said scheme, but that one scenario, but like I said, it could be a secondary encounter. We got the Fixer here. 2 costs, or 2 scheme, 1 attack, 15 hit points, villainous, elite genius Thunderbolt. Forced interrupt, when a non-scenario specific tech attachment would be attached to the villain, attach it to Fixer instead. Text on that card that refers to the villain refers to Fixer instead. So you can basically get a bunch of cool stuff, especially with Baron Zemo and that thing, because you can get Zemo's sword and whatnot. So we got the jetpack attachment here, attached to Fixer, otherwise attached to the villain. Attached enemy gains aerial. Forced interrupt, when attached character would take 3 or more damage, prevent all of that damage and discard jetpack. Then we have Tech Pack here, attachment, +1 scheme, +1 attack, with something special, attached to Fixer, otherwise attached to the villain. Oh, that's right, I said it's only if it's a tech one, right? So it wouldn't be Zemo's sword. Take that back. Scenario specific tech. And it can't be scenario specific stuff. Okay, yeah. Anyways, back to that. It just hit me when I saw tech there. Attached to the Fixer, otherwise attached to the villain. The special for the attack is attached enemy gets +1 attack for each other tech attachment it has. Hero action, exhaust any number of characters you control with a combined thwart greater than attached enemy scheme. Discard this card. Then we see the side scheme that goes with this. Technological innovation. It's going to have 4 threat on it. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a tech attachment and reveal it. Place 1 additional threat here for each tech card in play. So it's going to load them up and also load up this. Then we get Techno Treachery. When revealed, find Fixer and reveal him. If he is already in play, he engages you. Fixer activates against you. If no enemy activated this way, this card gains Surge. So it reads like the typical ones from the Thunderbolts. Boost, if this activation is an attack, it gains Piercing. And then there's 2 of those. No. I mean, I'm still more of a Winter Soldier fan. But like I said, I was a Falcon fan, and this definitely feels like it's got the Falcon feel. And if you are one of the ones, unlike me, that does like the Cap Falcon, well, you can make him into Cap Falcon. It covers that basis. I also like the idea that I could go and take the Bucky. I'd have to make him leadership, but I can turn it, which makes sense because he's Captain America, so it needs to be leadership anyways. But I can go into the Bucky Barnes Captain America if I want to. Now, I know, as I said, only Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes, so I get it. You can't really do it with anybody else. But, yeah, no. This is cool. I'm not sure who I'm looking forward to playing more, but I will get this video. Of course, you're seeing this video, and then I'll get these filmed and try to get them up as quick as possible so you can see how they play. That way, if just looking at the decks was not enough to convince you that you want to buy these, or you just want to still see how they play first, we'll see that. Hopefully, it won't be like an instant or just a quick kill or just a quick loss. So we will see some play. And then, like I said, I've started doing it more on these videos now where I do on the playthroughs, at least on the solo playthroughs of these decks unchanged, is I do a small review afterwards where I go back through these decks, through each card, and see if my opinion about the said card changed or how I felt about it once I actually got to see how it played, or maybe if there was something I missed or something. But either way, sorry about the sound mix-up early on. Not sure how I missed that the recorder wasn't recording. So hopefully the sound went through okay on the camera. We will see. But all right, with that, thank you for watching and have a great day.